There is a lot of talk about the interview LeBron James did with Pat McAfee. I've already broken down some of my takes on what LeBron has said on a few other clips on my channel, but I also want to break down this one thing he said during the interview, which I found pretty funny. So the first thing I'm going to break down is him actually responding back to the people who said Luka Doncic and him couldn't play together because they're both ball dominant players. Okay, here's what he said. Yeah, it must be idiots that don't know the game of basketball. Oh my goodness, there's so many of those guys out there right now. I had to chuckle at that one because I am one of those guys who's been saying that both of them can't play together. If you've been watching my channel, I've been saying that consistently for the last month or so that those two cannot coexist due to being ball dominant players, that it just wasn't going to work out in the long term. And I stick by that, but I'm wondering, LeBron, have you been watching my channel lately? Nah, I just had to take that shot out there, but nah, my feelings are definitely not hurt, but I could tell it does bother LeBron when people say those things because he wouldn't have brought that up if it didn't bother him at all. So I just had to throw that parting shot at him. But the next thing I want to read, which I think is an insult to all NBA fans when it comes to our intelligence. So here goes. Oh my goodness, it really does. There is every single day, and then you realize I'll be looking at it and I hear it like, I'm like, those guys, just a lot of those guys that played the game or did not play the game. It was just they played the game while they were talented. I don't think they ever thought the game. I don't think they ever thought the game. I don't think they were ever smart. I just think they were bigger and stronger and maybe faster at the time, and they dominated the game. And when it was over, it was over. And they don't. That's why I'm still able to play at fucking 40 years old. I'll read again. That's why I'm able to still play at fucking 40 years old. My mind is just like I can play the game because I can outthink the guys out there, and as my athleticism has went down a notch, not a lot, as my athleticism has went down a notch, like I've been able to still bring up other facets of my game and be able to still, do what I need to do every single game. LeBron, what do you think we are, idiots? Really? That we're going to buy into this bullshit you're spewing about how you have the superior mind, superior IQ compared to players of the past, and that's the reason why you're able to play at age 40? No, that's definitely not the reason why you're able to play at age 40. It's a combination of several things. One of it is that you're consistently using HGH like all the time to be able to keep up with these young players. I'm just saying, I know people say I have no claims to back it up, but I definitely believe this man's using HGH. So yeah, you're using that. You have that in your pocket. And I don't think you're smarter than any of these other guys in the past, really, like when it comes to having this high superior basketball intellect or IQ. There are plenty of guys whose IQs were even higher than yours. They just didn't have the privilege of playing in an era where physical play has been pretty much outlawed, in the sense that you don't have to worry about getting roughed up on every possession when you drive to the hole. You definitely benefited from that. I know some people are saying like, you're just a hater, you're just hating. You got to give LeBron credit for being an Ironman and being in great shape. And I'm saying, no, I'm not hating in that regard. Physicality makes a huge difference in being able to be effective later as you get older. It's like the example that I can give to you guys is like working at a white collar job versus a blue collar job. I'm 41 years old and I've been working at nothing but white collar jobs my whole entire life. I've never done blue collar work, but I'm in great shape for my age. I can still run up a flight of stairs. I can still run a few miles around the block like I could like 10, 15 years ago. The biggest thing that I've lost now as being older is that I don't have the stamina like I used to do, where I could play basketball for like 10 straight hours and not get tired. Not only do it for 2, 3 hours. And that goes for other physical tasks that you do get tired a little bit more so once you're older versus when you're younger. But compare me to a guy who's the same age, 41 years old, but worked nothing but blue collar jobs. Let's say he's doing construction his whole entire life. Just he's been doing that. He's not going to be able to do the things I can do. It's not because I have a superior intellect to him. My body's holding up. I guess some people could say that because I'm working white collar jobs, but you get what I'm saying. Like, I'm not working a physical, strenuous job that's putting miles on my body. That's why I can outperform him in physical activities such as running, doing all these tasks, and just being able to do it at a high level physically, whereas he can't do it anymore simply because his body's taken so much toll from all the excruciating labor. That's like the biggest difference. It's not because I have some great intellect that my body is in better shape than my contemporary who's a blue collar worker. No, it's because I had to deal with all the physical labor and abuse that my body would have taken had I gone the same route as the 41-year-old construction worker. That's the biggest difference. And I take it back to basketball with LeBron. These other guys were just as strong as LeBron. They were built like LeBron, but they were not able to play at a high level once they got past the age of 35 because their body just broke down due to all the hits and injuries they absorbed from playing a much more physical game. That's how it was back then. I look at guys like David Robinson, Alonzo Mourning, just Shaquille O'Neal, even just Patrick Ewing. Once those guys got above the age of 35, it's like they sharply declined. They were like a shell of what they once were. They were not able to maintain like 70 to 80% of what they once were, like LeBron has been able to do in these last several years. And that's mainly due to the league outlawing, brutal physical play like they had back then. That's a huge reason why his career has been extended much longer than players of previous generations. Like, I just read some of the stories about guys like Alonzo Mourning, for instance, that Alonzo had to take so many painkillers to play through all the physical pain he endured from playing, inside the paint as a center. And I know LeBron plays a different position, but his game is highly reliant in bulldozing people in the paint and having no resistance to that, essentially. But think about how much painkillers Alonzo had to take, and it played a huge role in his career, shortening him having kidney problems allegedly caused by these painkillers. And other guys have told stories about the same thing. They had to take painkillers to go on because it was so bad by the time they hit their 30s. Just to play through all that pain was agonizing. You just see that with a guy like, Shaquille O'Neal. He also he had to play through a lot of pain and hits. The only guy I really saw that was really unscathed from all that physical play was like Karl Malone. He didn't really start to break down until he hit 40, and that's when it started to go downhill for him. He was able to extend it a lot longer, but eventually even took a toll on him. And, that's why I don't just buy into LeBron saying it's his mind is the reason why he's able to still play at a high level at his age. It's more like the league bent the rules for these perimeter players, not just him, but just perimeter players in general, because they're trying to market perimeter players more so than bigs. That's a huge reason. Look at Kevin Durant. He's still putting up great numbers at his age. I think Durant's like 37, 38. And at the rate he's going, he'll be here at the age of 42, just like LeBron. Does Kevin Durant have like a superior intellect? No, I think he's a superior dumbass, like, to be honest. But will he be around a few years from now? Yeah, I think he will. If he wants to be, he will, because, again, he doesn't have to deal with the physicality of the league and how brutal it is. Just he's going to last. I look at Stephen Curry, he's like 35, 36. If he wanted to go, I think he could last until he's 40 also. It's not like an achievement anymore to play up to that age, I feel, in this current era, because you're going to see so many guys doing it in upcoming years due to these rule changes that has extended the careers of a lot of these players, because they haven't had to take hits on their body, just the physical toll that we would have seen in previous eras, where most of these guys, when I was growing up, they were done by the time they were 35, or if they were playing beyond 35, they were barely making it. They were laboring through these games, from what I vividly remember very well. Just a lot of these guys from the original Dream Team, after the age of 35, they were terrible. Just they went into like a sharp decline. So I just wanted to bring that up because I thought that was very funny and laughable. So, but it shows again that this guy is a hardcore narcissist. Just he has an ego the size of a mountain, and because of that, he has no awareness and he's delusional. But that's all I wanted to say about this.